It's time for the One Bar and Lupica Show, bringing you anything and everything Minnesota Vikings.
Welcome to professional football.
All right, welcome back to the One Bar and Lupica Show. It is Border Battle Week, and in this episode, we're going to be comparing position by position to see who has the upper hand.
Yes, we'll be going with straight old doggy, a reverse cowgirl, and the old bulldozer.
Remember the movie Seven, where he says John Doe has the upper hand? John Doe's got the upper hand. What's in the box?
I do remember that part. It really affected your life.
It did. It was a very, very good movie and very, very horrifying at the end. But let's get into these positions. Let's start at the top. Let's start at quarterback.
Yeah, I think we both agree here. As much as we love Kirk Cousins, you got to give it to Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. Rodgers simply won the all-time greats, and I know his stats aren't what they've been in recent years, but I'm always scared to face this guy just for what he can do. The game is never over as long as Rodgers still has a chance. So you never feel good playing against Rodgers until the clock ticks down to 0:00. But I do love beating this guy so much. I love beating him.
Yeah, there's nobody better to beat. You're right. The Packers do win the position of quarterbacks, but it's a lot closer than it might think. Really, the only reason I got the Packers winning is just his mentality, his ability. You know he's going to perform in the clutch because when you look at the numbers, Rodgers' numbers are going down. 62% completion percentage last year, 95.4 quarterback rating. And the Vikings actually had a better overall quarterback rating, better completion percentage, same amount of touchdowns, but it comes to what's in the melon. And Aaron Rodgers has got ice in his veins.
Yeah, he pees icicles. It's not just what he's got in the melon; it's what he's done. It's his history. It's his, time and time again. He's just brought that team back. He has been that offense for a very long time. So you gotta give him respect. You can hate him, but you gotta respect him.
Yeah, there's nothing worse when you're up by 6 and he's got the ball with about $110 left because you know damn well he's going to get that touchdout.
Hell yeah.
Every time.
At least make it damn close. And that's
Except when Trey Waynes picked his ass off.
Hell yeah.
All right, let's go to running back. I think this is going to favor a little bit better for the purple here.
Oh, yeah. It definitely goes to the Vikings. You got Dalvin Cook, who I would take over Aaron Jones any day. And I think the Vikings are a little bit deeper. I would rather have Alexander Madison and Jamal Williams. And, A.J. Dillon is still an unproven commodity. And your boy Tyler Urban rounds out their depth. But, Aaron Jones is a hell of a back, and I got to give him credit. He tore us up last year. But, again, I still think Dalvin Cook is the more pure and natural and explosive runner.
Vikings were 6th in the league last year with over 2,100 yards on the ground, averaging 4.5 yards a carry. Packers actually averaged 4.4 yards a carry, but, we blow them away. A.J. Dillon, what's his nuts? Eddie Lacy used to always rip us a new one, and he was a big old bruiser back. So A.J. Dillon scares me in that aspect, but we'll let him prove himself before we get scared of him. Aaron Jones is fantastic, though, and he kind of lit us up last year, both games.
He did, and he does call himself the best back at the NFC, but he's wrong.
That's the dumbest thing I ever heard. Let's go to wide receivers.
Yeah, I'll let you start this one.
Wide receivers. The Packers, they got one of the best. Devontae Adams, no doubt about that. But after that, it turns real poopy real quick. And Vikings as well. They got one of the better ones in Adam Thielen. He's back. He's healthy. But take those two guys out of the equation. Justin Jefferson, B.C. Johnson. I like that a lot better than Allen Lazard. And I couldn't even tell you who else.
Marquez Valdez Scantling. Valdez Scantling. Ekmania St. Brown. There's as much as the Vikings receiving core has question marks, the Packers have even more. You look at the top; they both have studs at the top, but the rest are full of questions. But like you said, I think I like the Vikings question marks a little better than I like the Packers question marks.
Yeah, but at least with the Packers, they have a year under their belt with those guys, Lazard and Valdez Scantling. We still have a little bit more of an unknown. BC's going to be better. Justin Jefferson's going to be good, but Allen Lazard. That's going to be a guy to watch on Sunday. If we're focusing completely on Devontae Adams, Allen Lazard, he actually kind of came on at the end of last year, and he's got a pretty big old body to catch those big old balls.
Yeah, but let's not forget what we have. Chad Beebe, all 5'6" of him.
Wonder if he's even going to be active.
Oh, he'll be active.
All right, Vikings are off to a pretty good start, but let's go to offensive line where I think it's going to get real sad real quick.
Yeah, you got to give this to the Packers. David Bakhtiari, one of the best in the NFL, but I do think he gets away with more holds than anybody. The nice second-year guy, Elgton Jenkins at left guard. Corey Lindsey's a hell of a center. Lane Taylor, Billy Turner's hurt, so that actually could come into play on Sunday. But, overall, look at their depth. They got that nice rookie John Runyon, who we both just love coming over the draft, and Ricky Wagner. I think they got guys who have done it, who've been to some Pro Bowls. The Vikings line is very weak, very flaccid, and could be very gross.
It's completely flaccid. This one isn't even close for me. They blow us out of the water here.
Well, speaking of blowing out of the water, go to tight ends, and the Vikings absolutely blow the shitty trio of the Packers out of the water. It's not even close. They got Mercedes Lewis, who must be 82 years old.
He's 80 years old. I looked it up.
I don't think we had pubes when he was drafted. Robert Tonyan, I thought he lived on the street. Jay Sternberger, who still has not yet to really emerge onto the scene. And then don't forget the rookie, who they took in round 2, Josiah DeGuara. Disgusting. And I think the Vikings trio of tight ends is probably one of the best in the NFL with Kyle Rudolph, Irv Smith Jr., and the Conkadonk. So I would take the Vikings every day.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Packer fans, but I think if you guys had Conkadonk, he would probably be your number 1 tight end.
I think Brandon Dillon would be.
I think Jake Vargas would be. Jay Sternberger, what the hell? He had so much run going into that 2019 draft. I know he was hurt last year, but he's buried on their depth chart, on a depth chart that is not very good. So yeah, we completely smoke them at the tight end position, and that officially wraps up the offensive side of the ball. So pretty neck and neck when it comes to offense comparing the two.
Yeah, let's move on to defense. Let's hit up that D line. What do you got?
Defensive line. It's we talked about this prior to hopping on. They run a 3-4, we run a 4-3, so it's a little bit apples and oranges. But defensive line, we got to take into the equation that Danielle Hunter is out for the first 3 games, so he is off of this. But I still got the Vikings. It's gonna be very interesting to see how they do against the run game. But having Yannick and having Odenigbo, I think, are still better than the Kenny Clark and the Dean Lowry and the Tyler Lancaster. I feel much better about our defensive line.
Yeah, I mean, Kenny Clark's a stud. You can't deny that.
Absolutely.
Dean Lowry actually is better than he's probably should be more well known for as good as he has been at times. And I don't know anything about Tyler Lancaster. I don't know who he is. I haven't even heard of him before. I guess I go Vikings for sure too. I mean, just Ngakwe's so good. Odenigbo's on the verge of a breakout. So I think you have those two are a little bit better than the Lowry-Clark combination.
Yes, but Kenny Clark, damn it, that guy gets better every single year, and I think he'll probably even be better this year.
Wow.
Kenneth Clark. Let's go to linebacker. Packers are pretty damn good at linebacker.
This is probably the toughest one to call, and very, very, very close. And again, like you said, they run that 3-4, so they got 4 linebackers and more different types. But those Smith brothers are absolutely horrifying. On the outside, they destroyed us last year. They got Christian Kirksey in the middle, who gets 100 tackles in his sleep. But look at the Vikings. They got Eric Kendricks, Anthony Barr, Eric Wilson. That's gonna be a hell of a trio. But again, those Smith brothers are just too damn good. So I think we got to give it to the Packers here. Yeah,
between those two guys alone, 25.5 sacks last year. I think 24 of them were against the Vikings. But Vikings and Packers, I mean, they have 2 of the top sets of linebackers in the entire league. So this is very unfair. But yes,
Packers 1 and 2 in the entire NFL.
Packers win by just a tiny little PUB. Let's go to cornerback.
Before you go to cornerback, I want to say how much Zadarius Smith is really starting to piss me off. And I think at the end of the second game last year, I really started to hate him. And he could be my new Richard Sherman in the NFL. Yeah,
Zadarius Smith, boy, he sure likes himself. He is not afraid to be yapping, which I like to a point. But yeah, you're right. Zadarius Smith is not a fan favorite of mine. And one guy we didn't even mention, Rashaan Gary, it sounds like he had a pretty damn good camp, their first-round pick last year. So it'll be interesting to see how much playing time he gets.
Yeah, it is. You got to factor him in. He could be a breakout player for them the same way Denabo will be for us. Yeah, well, you had corner started. Why don't you continue?
Corners, well, we are very, very unproven in this category. And the Packers, Jar Alexander, Kevin King, Josh Jackson, they got a pretty good group of corners. So I'm giving it to the Packers. Alexander seems like a guy who's kind of hit or miss. He's either fantastic or he's getting blown away. Kevin King, he's coming into his own. So the Packers got a pretty good set of corners.
How come you didn't mention Chandon Sullivan?
Didn't want to. Not worth it.
Yeah, I think you have to give this to the Packers just on an experience factor. Vikings are so raw here. King and Jair Alexander have much more experience than anybody on our team. So, yeah, just the experience alone, you got to push this arrow towards the Packers.
Yeah, and Alexander, boy, he's kind of like Smith. He likes to yap. So I really hope Thielen takes him to the cleaners on Sunday.
Hell, I hope BC does.
Oh,
not really.
God, I hope KJ Osborne burns his ass.
Ooh, I like that.
Let's go to safety. This isn't even going to be close. Vikings win.
Unless we were comparing the depth.
Exactly. You're right. It's valid.
Yeah. No, yeah. I mean, Darnell Savage, Adrian Amos, that's not a bad combination, really, but it's nothing compared to Harrison Smith and Anthony Harris, who I would say are the best duo in the NFL.
Yeah, but really, I mean, even I think the depth, when you look at the backups at safety for each team, is pretty damn close. The Packers have Raven Green and Will Redmond, and we have nobody. And I still think that's actually pretty damn close.
I'd rather have Raven Simone than Raven Green.
I'd rather have Will Clark, first baseman.
Hell of a player. What a stroke.
He had a really good mid-outer. I remember his 1990 Donruss card. It was fantastic.
Yeah, I'm more a fan of his 89 tops.
Yeah, that was a good one as well. Final special teams. Nobody cares about what we're going to do it anyways.
Yeah, you look at what they got. They got an old kicker. I don't know, J.K. Scott isn't that old, I don't think. But and then kind of an unproven returner. And you know what? The Vikings are in a very similar boat with an old kicker and an old punter and an unproven returner. So I think we both agreed this one was going to be a push in the bush.
Yeah, kickers, I give the little bit nod to Mason Crosby. Punters, I give a little bit nod to Colquitt. And the returner, dead ass even, and to see what these guys do. So, yes, absolutely a push. That's fair. That's fair.
You said it was a bush.
It was a bush. That's a clean bush.
That's a bush. All right, so there you have it. When we tally up the scores, who comes out on top of this?
The Vikings come out on top by 1, but that just shows this should be a very, very close game. We will see. It will be one in the trenches, as lame as that is to say. But that's where it'll be one. And we're gonna bust down a whole game preview tomorrow. So make sure to check in on that.
It's gonna be exciting. The beers will be flowing. Purple will be wearing. Who knows?
And remember one thing. We still have that bet where if Amir Abdullah gets a carry before Mike Boone, Lupagus will be doing a full show with his shirt off.
I will. But until we get to that point, here's something you can chew on. The world's biggest recorded rutabaga, 77.8 pounds.
I thought that was going in a completely different direction.